A pleasant afternoon to all, and welcome to the official launch for the International Men's Day Regional Conference 2023. Before we continue this empowering event, I would like to welcome Mr. Anderson Richardson to lead us in a word of prayer.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let's pray. Dear Father, we give you thanks, we give you praise. Lord, we are grateful for the opportunity to be here. Lord, we are thankful, O God, for being in the land of the living. Even, O God, as we begin, O God, as we officially launch, O God, this media, O God, package, O God, this day for the International Men's Day, Lord, we ask you, O God, to take full charge and control over everything, O God, that will be said and done here. We ask you, O God, to bless this initiative. Bless, O God, the planners, O God. Bless our media persons, O God. Bless, O God, our ministers of government. Bless, O God, our officials. Every one of us, O God, that are gathered here, O God, in this, O God, in this venue, O God. We ask you, O God, that you will take full charge and control over everything that will be said and done here. And that this event, O God, will be an impactful one, that it will be a meaningful one, O God, that it will reach its fullest potential. And we thank you for doing it. In Jesus' name, amen.
Now, without further ado, we will commence the event. Honorable Philip Telesford, Minister for Social and Community Development, Housing and Gender Affairs. Senator Gloria Thomas, Minister with Responsibility for Social Development and Gender Affairs. Mr. Anderson Richardson, Ms. Adonna Comby, and Mr. Michael Stewart. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed members of the media, distinguished guests and friends, a pleasant afternoon to all. Now, I am truly delighted and honored to stand before you today, extending a warm and heartfelt welcome to the media launch of the International Men's Day Regional Conference 2023. Today marks the beginning of an extraordinary journey, a journey that celebrates men, embraces their well-being, empowers positive change, and elevates our beloved Caribbean region to new heights. This event is not just a conference, but it is a commitment to the well-being and positive transformation of the men in our society. As we gather here, we recognize the importance of International Men's Day and its potential to create a long and lasting impact. We are here to embark on a mission that transcends boundaries, unites communities, and strives to make the region a better place for all. The theme of our conference being Men Matter, Embrace, Empower, and Elevate for Positive Transformation encapsulates the very essence of our mission. It calls upon us as individuals to focus on and educate men from all sectors of work and all walks of life, ensuring that their voices are not only heard, but their challenges are addressed and that their well-being is paramount. Throughout the media launch today, you will have the opportunity to not only gain insight into the vision of our conference, but also witness the premiere of a jingle and engage in such enriching paneling discussions. This event serves as a stepping stone to a powerful transformative conference that will leave an indelible mark on our region. I want to express my sincere gratitude to all those who would have contributed to making this event a reality, including our dedicated minister, our hardworking organizing committee, and our esteemed panelists. Each one of you and your presence today is duly noted. As we move forward, we hope this event not only sparks discussions, but encourages collaborations and invites action. We invite you to join us on our journey of celebrating, embracing, empowering, and elevating men. Let us make a collective pledge to promote transformative agenda in the Caribbean region. Once again, welcome to the media launch of the International Men's Day Regional Conference 2023, and hopefully together we can make a difference. Thank you. Now I welcome our panelists. So it is an honor to introduce our esteemed panelists for today's event, each of whom brings a wealth of experience and insights to our discussion. We have Honorable Philip Telesford, who serves as the Minister for Social and Community Development, Housing and Gender Affairs in Grenada. His professional background in finance and corporate experience complements his commitment to community development and gender equality. His visionary leadership, courage, and passion for community well-being reaffirm his commitment to the transformative agenda of the Government of Grenada. Next, we have Mr. Michael Stewart. Mr. Stewart is an accomplished author of 6 books, holds a bachelor's degree in psychology and a diploma with honors in mass communication from the University of West Indies. He is also a certified speaker and coach by John C. Maxwell and Les Brown. His role as the Caribbean ambassador for World Day of the Boy, Child, and International Men's Day, alongside his founding of various advocacy groups, demonstrates his commitment to promoting positive masculinity and fatherhood. Next up, we have Ms. Adonna Comby. Now, Ms. Comby is a seasoned communications consultant from Trinidad and Tobago with over 10 years of experience. As a television host and founder of Lily Consultants, she has made a significant impact. Her expertise in communications and her passion for promoting well-being align perfectly with the themes of our discussion. And last but not least, we have Mr. Anderson Richardson, who is a native of Grenada and has dedicated his life to the betterment of his community. His journey began as a teacher, followed by an officer in the Royal Grenada Police Force. The most significant phase of his career involved an impressive 11-year tenure as a child protection officer, where he actively contributed to the well-being of numerous children. Presently, Mr. Richardson holds the esteemed position of Gender Program Development Officer within the Ministry of Social and Community Development, Housing and Gender Affairs. Beyond his professional pursuits, he serves as a facilitator for court-mandated programs and as an event coordinator for the St. Patrick's Youth Organization. Now together, our panelists offer a diverse range of experiences, expertise, and a shared passion for fostering positive change, not only in Grenada, but throughout the Caribbean region. We are all eager to delve into the insightful conversation they will have together. Thank you. And so now we welcome the panel discussion, I believe. Oh, and we also have Minister Thomas, my apologies. Sorry, Senator Thomas, who is currently the Minister of State with responsibility for social and community development and housing. Sorry, she's currently the Minister for State for Social Development and Gender Affairs. We now welcome Minister Telesford to do an overview of the event.
Thank you very much, Che. And again, good evening to afternoon to the panelists. Those of you who are here with us in the media room, we welcome you. We welcome those of you who are listening throughout the state of Grenada and the rest of the Caribbean to this very important media launch in commemoration of International Men's Day in the Caribbean. This is the very first time the Caribbean community has decided to come together to recognize men in this fashion. And as a ministry, we believe it is important, and as a collective throughout the region, we've held a series of meetings over the past few months, meeting every Wednesday to get to this point. And for this, I recognize the organizing committee and a number of subcommittees that have been set in place to make this event happen. I also offer commendation to Minister Gloria Thomas, who is the line minister for social development. She has given the green light for this to happen, and she's worked tirelessly along with the committee every week to bring this event to where it is in terms of its planning. And we look forward to her continued support. And the leadership, of course, from Mr. Stewart. You have really, really worked hard yourself and all members of the committee. It is dangerous to start singling out, but you have really, really done your thing to get us to this point. So we really want to celebrate your work, and we believe that it will be even more so manifested when the conference is held during the period the 15th to the 19th of November this year. This event, we believe, is a very important event because it is well known that in Grenada and the wider Caribbean, there has been quite a lot of challenges with our male folks, without exemption. There has been quite a lot of it. Violence in the schools, violence in the communities, violence against our women, and a lot of other social ills, criminal activities, and all of that. But on the flip side, there has been remarkable achievements by our male folks. And so this conference is going to recognize the achievements of men as well as the progress that men has made, turning away from, in some instances, a life of crime to that of peace and tranquility and good, decent community living. So we are going to hear a lot of stories. We're going to be visiting with the prison, the Father Maligan Home, the Bacolet Juvenile Center, visiting the schools on the blocks. So this conference is going to be one that is very, very engaging because we are going to be reaching out to our men wherever they are located. And of course, the conference will be opened to all and sundry. So we call upon the churches, we call upon NGOs and social groupings, we call upon the guys in the blocks and all and sundry to join in with us so that we can begin to really look seriously at those things that affect us as men. And I believe the greatest essence that will come out of this conference is a partnership forged between our male folks and our female folks. And as you recognize on this head table this evening, there is side by side our female. They're right here with us, and they have been front and center in planning this conference. And so we want to celebrate them also and thank them for the strong support. And I believe I can safely say without our female folks, we were not going to be here in terms of the amount of planning and hard work that went into this conference. So this conference, I don't want to overspeak, but just to say that the conference is geared towards looking seriously at the challenges that have been affecting our male folks in our society. How do we address these problems? How do we begin to effect real and genuine change? We recognize that our females, they have done tremendously well. They've done well. But at the end of it, we have to coexist as a society together. And so we must forge partnerships that are meaningful and that are lasting. And this conference is geared towards that also. So I want to pause here for a moment and pass back to the moderator, who is going to take it up from here. Thank you.
And so those were some enlightening words on the overview of the event from Minister Philip Telesford. We now pass the mic to Mr. Michael Stewart, who will give us an overall rationale of the event.
Thank you very much, Chair. And I want to say it's a pleasure to be at this juncture of the International Men's Day Regional Conference. And I want to say it's a sense of pride that we have as the committee pulling together this International Day and myself as the International Men's Day Ambassador, that this has taken place. I just want to give you a background as to how this all came about. Earlier this year in July, there was a conference here in Grenada, the annual Caribbean Lectureship Conference of the Churches of Christ, church that I attend. And we had a conference at the Radisson Hotel. We had over 500 persons in attendance in that event. The feature speaker for that official opening was Honorable Philip Telesford, who was then the acting Prime Minister. And he spoke, and he was very impressive, and a number of the organizers of that lectureship were very moved by what he said in that lectureship. Because I was the protocol person responsible for the handling of that event, I had the opportunity to speak with Minister Telesford, and I found out that he is also the Minister for Gender Affairs. So I took the opportunity to chat with him about it and to share with him my concepts, and immediately it resonated with him. He moved it from one stage to the next, and we met on a number of occasions, and we started to meet every week, planned a committee, rolled it out, and from July to now, this is where we are at. This is not something that has been planned for years, but it showed the kind of commitment that Minister Telesford had. And we want to appreciate that tremendously. So coming out of that, we did recognize that there are some similarities between what happens in Trinidad and Tobago, where the country that I'm from, what's happening in Grenada, what's happening in a number of the other regional islands. We have crime affecting men and boys and perpetrated primarily by men and boys. We have drugs and drug addiction that's taking place. We also have the issues of fatherhood, also have the issue of the educational level of our boys and our men as far as the schooling system is concerned, which is something that has to be addressed as to whether we are teaching in a method that is comfortable or appropriate for the way boys learn. And I've seen some studies saying that there needs to be a shift from that. And many of our school system is very primarily academic, when we have some boys who can do well with hands-on vocational skills. So those are things that we feel must be addressed. So having gone to that and committees being established by the minister, we have a number of persons representing St. Kitts, Anguilla, we have St. Lucia, we have Grenada, that is pivotal, we have Trinidad and Tobago, Antigua, etc., and St. Vincent, and a number of other countries that all sit in various areas to bring the program about. The theme is Men Matter, Embrace, Empower, Elevate for Positive Transformation. And I want to exegete this theme to give you an appreciation of the reason this theme is so appropriate for us today. Let's take Men Matter. I think it is perceived that men do not matter. And when you look at a number of things that take place in the court system and in the way that justice is dispensed, you wonder if men really matter. And I'll give you two examples. There's a gentleman who called me and told me that his wife is walking around, audio recording, screaming, "Don't hit me, stop," and also hitting some of the furniture to give the impression she is being abused. She intends to take this to the police because she knows from the perception of society, men do not matter. Once you make a report on a man of abuse, almost without an investigation, that man is put out of his house. So he's doing that. So he called me, and I suggested to him, videotape her, but don't let her know that you are videotaping her. And as predicted, she did not know that took place, and she went to the police and reported that she was being abused. She screamed loud enough doing it so that her neighbors would also hear, so that she'll use the neighbors as the evidence. The police did not listen to him, as predicted, and put him in handcuffs and put him in the vehicle and took him down to the police station. It is at the police station, in him repeating that he was not abusive to her, one of the policemen spoke to him and he says, "I have the recording." And he pulled out the recording and showed that she was just walking about screaming this thing. They checked her, she has no marks on her. He has marks on him. They immediately arrested the woman. Why? Because it started off because men do not matter. Just before coming here, flying out to Grenada, I'm speaking with a gentleman, he says he's in the police station. He's in the police station, he has suffered a stroke, so he cannot use one of his hands. The woman he lives with is abusing him physically and verbally. He says he's in the police station, the police has acknowledged because they see evidence that he is being abused. But they tell him that he has to allow her to stay there for about a month or two until she finds a place to go. Men do not matter. Because if a man is abusing a woman, he is immediately removed. But now he has to endure it for 2 months. That's why this is so important for today's event. Men do not matter, let me tell you. Even our institutional system, the United Nations, has over 216 days that are celebrated. Even World Day of the Bees, migrating bees, and etc. Out of that 216 days, we are really encouraging and asking United Nations, out of the 216 days, 10 of those days are dedicated to women and girls, 0 to men and boys, out of 216. So we are asking United Nations, and this conference is pivotal in bringing that awareness. It might be coincidental that November 19th, that is celebrated by 80 countries, is listed on the United Nations calendar as World Toilet Day. That's the name of the day. That is November 19th on the United Nations. Because in the minds of many, men do not matter. So we have dealt with that. Let's look at embrace, which is the other aspect of the theme. And we talk about embracing and how do we bring on board or appreciation of men. And I want to quote from an article. It is August 18, 2022, an article written by Penelope Green in the New York Times regarding Noah Vincent, a woman, who chronicled where she took on the role of a man to experience what it is like to be a man. So she wrote a book called Self-Made Man. She was a 35-year-old journalist at the time. So she practiced men. And I'm going to quote the New York Times where this is written. With the help of makeup artists, she learned to simulate stubble by snipping bits of wool and painting them on her chin. She wore her hair already short, cut in a flat top, and bought rectangular framed glasses to accentuate the angles of her face. She did weight training to build her muscles in her chest and back, bound her breast with 2 small sports bras, and wore a jockstrap stuffed with a soft prosthetic penis. I'm explaining the extent she went to actually carry the role of a man. I continue in the article. She trained for months with a vocal coach in Manhattan who taught her to deepen her voice and slow it down, to lean back as she spoke rather than leaning in, and to use her breath more effectively. Then she ventured out to live as a man for 18 months. She started to call her name Ned. The article went on to say, this is a New York Times article, that Ned began to go low in her energy as she experienced in 18 months living as a man, because in what was explained is that when she went in circles of men, she was embraced by men. When she went in circles of women, she was shunned and ridiculed by men. If you could always go to YouTube and find that story. So Ned felt alienated and disassociated and soon checked herself into a hospital for depression. The article went on to say that Noah, acting as Ned, began suffering with the same reasons and many of the men suffer as she met her suffering. Noah eventually committed suicide. She took on the role, almost lifelike, as a man. So we're talking about embracing men, because this is the disconnect that men. So let's go to empower. Suicide is often as a result of feelings of powerlessness, actually. And a medical reviewed article by Carly Sidney from March 27, 2023, entitled Differences in Suicide Between Men and Women. They said that there are gender differences in suicide. They said while women contemplate suicide, men actually execute it. And the methods that men use, they said married men used firearm to commit suicide. Unmarried men, in that article, said they use hanging, poisoning for men who were in substance abuse, and you had other methods such as suffocation and sharp objects. So why is there a difference? And they said that men are not permitted to fail. So when a man attempts suicide, he is out to succeed. And this is one of the reasons that their research showed why men choose a method that will not have a second chance. So at least he becomes successful in one thing. Suicide, they said, is as a means to bring attention to a man's plight. So sometimes a man even threatens the suicide and then executes it in order so that people could recognize, I have a problem, and hoping that probably it might take place, that people will take note of it even after his demise. Elevate. There are some derogatory terms that we use when it comes to men. I was speaking with a woman one day and she said, you have no good man on earth. I said, ma'am, do you have any sons? She said, yes. I said, is your son good or bad? She paused. And then she said, he's good. And then she realized what she just said. Well, he's the only good man that there is alive. So stereotypical it is that we don't want to elevate men. We don't talk about the good things about men. When we go doing a conference for men, toxic masculinity is the topic that we like to use. We like to use things that show about how men are in domestic violence. Where are the positive topics? Instead of that, where we can say, instead of deadbeat dads, we say fathers who care and are there. Instead of toxic masculinity, what about the strength of power of a man? If we start thinking positive and start positing positive thoughts in the society, things can change. And then we talk about positive transformation. Because remember we said, the theme is where men matter, embrace, empower, elevate for positive transformation. So we talk about empowering men. And this positive transformation is where we are calling on the system to start honoring men. And this conference, one of the highlights of this conference is that we are asking regional countries to support and put up names of men, ordinary men, not just men of renown, but ordinary men who have done well in society and who should be honored. There are things that men do that are not mentioned. I remember there's a court matter where a woman reported to the court that the husband was not paying maintenance. He was, but he took it for granted and did not do the recording. So she took it to court because he had started a new relationship. It went to court under false information that he was not paying, and the court awarded what he should be paying and said, this is what you are now supposed to pay monthly. What the court awarded was it was less than what he was paying the woman. His lawyer told him, pay what the court said, pay the lesser amount. This man said, these are my children. No court could tell me how much I should maintain my children. I will pay the higher amount regardless of what the mother did. You don't hear about those things. There are men out there who do well, support their system, support their families, want to be with their families, And some of them are disenfranchised from doing that because of somebody who does not want him to have access to the child because there is some personal vendetta to achieve. But there are many men that I have met, and I'm sure that you also know of many men. So moving forward, what do? This conference, we are asking regional countries, regional islands across to send delegates to this conference, because this conference is the first, as the minister said, and it is not going to be the last. We are going to be roving throughout the entire region. Next year we'll be in another country, and we will move it to another country until we have made a snowball, something of such essence that we will change the thinking that we currently have concerning men and boys. I want to thank the government of Grenada for the bold step that they have taken. And I also want to thank the Prime Minister and his ministers for having invited myself and my team of organizers to address Cabinet on this matter to allow us to be at this stage now that we are having the launch. And we expect that this is going to be one of the fillip to really move the issue and the subject of men forward. So if you miss Grenada, you miss everything. And as they say in Grenada, matter fix, which means everything is ready. Thank you very much.
Thank you for those lovely and inspiring words, Mr. Stewart. I now open the floor for some comments from Minister Gloria Thomas.
Thank you so much, Madam Moderator. Esteemed colleagues at the head table, the viewing audience, members of the media, pleasant good afternoon to all. It is indeed a pleasure for me as the Minister with responsibility for gender affairs to be invited to this launch to make some brief remarks. As we reflect, we recognize that it is important for us to place some emphasis on our men folks. When we speak gender, we oftentimes focus on the women and the girls, because over the years, our women folk has been marginalized and probably being seriously abused. Currently, we realize the scale need a little bit tipping, because we have done so much for women and girls that we are practically leaving our men behind. And I think a conference of this nature gives us the opportunity to reflect and to analyze and to put structures in place to ensure that our men are not left behind. And so a conference of this nature is very welcome. It will provide the opportunity for us as policymakers, as persons who work with the general public, and for men in particular, to come together to look at the issues and to see how we can move forward. When we look at our prison population, our rehabilitation center population, we recognize that we have to do more for men. We must do more for our men. And we realize that there are men who are positive role models. There are some who are taking up their responsibility. There are some who are very positive, but we don't hear much of them. We don't hear much about their works and their offerings to society. So with this conference, we'll be highlighting the positive men in our society. We'll be highlighting the positive role models. We'll be highlighting the positive achievements. And so we will use these areas to really mobilize and to give direction to those who we think are lacking. We need to bring all men on board. And we could do it We plan to do it through this conference. As we say, the conference will not be a talk shop. It will be practical, it will be engaging, and this is one of the strengths of this conference. So I urge you all to support the conference in whatever way possible. Encourage our men folk to come out and be part of the discussion, come out and be part of the planning for the future. And I think we will realize lots of benefit from this conference. And so today, as we launch this upcoming conference, I just want to encourage all of us, as I say, to be part of it, but more so to ensure that the men come out and play their part in lending a voice in ensuring that the issues that affect them is tabled and is being addressed. So thank you, and I look forward to a successful conference here in Gridley.
Thank you ever so much, Minister Thomas, for those elevating words. I now open up the floor to Mr. Anderson Richardson to give us a rollout of the events and the activities.
Members of the head table, members of the media, viewers and listeners, a pleasant good afternoon to all. My responsibility this afternoon is to give you an overview of the list of activities that are planned for International Men's Day 2023. Now, International Men's Day will commence from November the 15th, 2023, and it will climax on the 19th of November 2023, which is the actual International Men's Day. Now, on the 15th of November, we'll be having a meet and greet. That's where all of our delegates and specially invited guests from the region will gather together as we more or less gel, being in person on the ground before the actual conference itself starts. And we're looking at giving them a taste of the Spice Isle, a taste of part of our culture. So we'll be having some cultural presentation, some steel band music and some comedy and so on, and having a warm up to the Grenadian culture, the Isle of Spice. And we're looking at having that at the Radisson Hotel at the Oasis Pavilion from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And that will be on the 15th of November, 2023. Now, the actual conference itself will be on the 16th of November, 2023. And our registration will begin from 8 a.m. So it will start from 8 a.m. and it will finish exactly 8:45 a.m. And the conference itself would start promptly at 8:45 a.m. Now, the conference itself would be a whole day event, so that will be from 8:45 to 5 p.m. So it will be whole day. And there are a lot of important topics that we're looking at discussing with our men, such as challenging the emasculation agenda, men and mental health, boys and men in ICT, just to name a few. And so we want to encourage our men. Come out. Come, let's share together. Let's work together. I am your brother. You are my brother. Let's work together. Now, we also want to look at, on the conference day itself, men in crisis, which we think is critical at this point, at this juncture in society, men in crisis. So that will also be looked at on the conference date, which will be 16th of November, 2023. Lunch and so on will be provided, so you will need not worry about that in terms of the activity. There will also be some buses that will be made available from the different constituencies that will be able to carry persons down to the activity. Now, November 17th, at the St. Andrew Room at the Radisson Hotel, from 8:30 a.m. to 11 a.m., we'll be having a business session. So all of our aspiring business persons in business, our men, we are appealing to you yet another time to come out and be part of that discussion, right? It promises to be great. It promises to be a fruitful one. And we want you, of course, to engage in that. After that activity, at 12 o'clock, we'll be joining on the ground, and we want to do some work with the various institutions. So the men will be on the ground. We want to visit our various facilities where men are housed, such as the Grand Bacolet Juvenile and Rehabilitation Center, His Majesty's Prison, the Father Maligan Home for Boys, the Mongay Mental Facility, among others. So the men will actually be on the ground, actually visiting those institutions and actually having that kind of impact. We want to meet our men wherever they are. We want to go out there and have that kind of meaningful contribution and impact on the lives of our young men and our older men. At that same time, we will be having a contingency going up to Carriacou, right, to have that impact as well. So Carriacou and Petit Martinique, you are in no way left out. The International Men's Day Regional Conference is also taking you into consideration, and we have you on board. Now, on Saturday, the 18th of November, we'll be having a motorcade, and we'll be going island-wide. Now, that motorcade is supposed to start at 10 o'clock, 10 a.m., and we'll be moving from St. George's all the way up to the western side. So St. George's, we'll be going up to St. John, St. Mark's, St. Patrick, St. Andrews, St. David's, and back to St. George's. And we want to stop at strategic locations where we engage with our men. We want to go down in the trenches and meet and greet our men, speak to our men, key messages, motivational messages, and saying, hey, man, you can't do it. I am your brother. You can't do it. Your situation does not determine your destiny. Your present situation does not have to determine your destiny. And so we want to have that kind of engagement with our men, and it will be an island-wide motorcade. And of course, we'll be attired in our IMD t-shirt, International Men's Day t-shirt, with our logo and so on there. Now, we want to climax the activity with a church service, an award ceremony, and an appreciation dinner. Now, that will take place again at the Radisson Hotel at the Krung Ballroom. Now, we're saying over the years, there are men that has been playing a pivotal role in society and has been working really hard. And we want to show some form of appreciation to them. And so each of the different Caribbean countries that we represented in Grenada have to select a man that we believe, or they believe, that is deserving of such an award. In a lot of instances, we award a lot of persons, but we think some emphasis needs to be placed on our men this time around, and so we want to do just that. And I can tell you that activity will be very, very much interesting. Now, you'll get a taste of our culture, a taste of the spice, some cultural presentations and so on will be taking place, and a nice dinner. So men, again, we're appealing to you, be out to that activity. It will start from 3 p.m. and it goes all the way up to 7 p.m. So it's a nice opportunity. Come in, let's interact together, and let's do things differently as we move forward and we celebrate the accomplishment of men and as we celebrate International Men's Day. Thank you very much.
And so I'd like to thank Mr. Richardson for that very detailed and comprehensive schedule of events that we have in store for all men for the International Men's Day Regional Conference 2023. Now we're getting down to objectives, registration, social media, and hashtags, and I welcome none other than Miss Adana Combi to do such. Thank you.
Thank you, Shay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the media. Good afternoon to those of you who are viewing on this media launch. It gives me great pleasure to be here this afternoon to speak to you about our men's conference. I don't think there should be any much more convincing that a conference of this nature is at this time well needed, because we know that our men really, really need the empowerment. And I'll tell you what, you've heard all the speakers that went before me, and you've heard how much we build up our women. You've heard how much we build up our girls. We prepare our girls because we think they have to compete with men. We think that they have to be better than men. So we equip them with all the things they need, and we forget about our boys. I think the senator mentioned that. We forget about our boys and our men. So we have well-grounded women who can stand on their own, but they aren't the men to match them. And so there's a disconnect in our society. One of the primary objectives of this conference is to highlight those issues, as many of the speakers said before, to highlight the issues that bring the disconnect between men and women and how we function as a society to address the social ills that come from the brokenness of a man, that come from the things that do not support the needs of a man. And so we're here to meet his needs, to understand what his needs are, and to provide some measure of support to ensure that he can maximize his full potential. Because we all have potential and we do not need to compete with each other. You have your shine and I have mine. And what we want to do is to really embrace, empower and elevate our men so they understand that a transformation will come that will bring a better life for them in their homes, in their communities, in their places of work, in whatever social groups or social circles they find themselves. They are now better to present themselves, they're now better able to present themselves as a well-rounded man. And that is what this conference is here about, to ensure that men who are struggling get the support, and men who are doing well are identified and celebrated, because we have to also celebrate the wins of our men, because they are doing great and marvelous things that you don't even hear about. And I'll tell you a short story. When I arrived, I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. I reside in Tobago. When I arrived in Grenada last night, and I was crossing the immigration area, the officer asked me, what is my purpose for being here? So I said, a meeting. He asked me, what kind of meeting is it? I said, preparation for International Men's Day. So he was looking at my passport. He's doing his stuff, as he should. And he started smiling. And I'm looking at him, why are you smiling? This is me asking him, why are you smiling? And he kept smiling and shaking his head and just going through my passport. And then he sat back in his chair like this, and he said, so you're trying to tell me that a woman had to come here and plan, an international men's conference? And I said to him, I don't have to come to plan it, but the reason I choose to be here is because I realize that men need support. And I understand that once a man is empowered, my life will be better. I understand the importance of a man knowing that he's worth my attention. He's worth me trying to help him, to be there for him, to support him, to stand next to him. I understand the importance. I am a mother, and I want to ensure that, and I'm a mother to a boy for that matter, and I want to ensure that my son comes up in an environment where he sees strong men, where he sees that a man can cry. It's okay for a man to cry, to break down, and to express his feelings, and to know that he will not be laughed at, he will not be mocked, to know that there is support for him. And that is why I have accepted this challenge to be a part of this committee to ensure the success of International Men's Day Regional Conference. I want to thank the government of Grenada for understanding the impact that this conference is going to make around the region. This conference, though being held in Grenada, as Mr. Stewart mentioned earlier, we're going to attract people from different Caribbean islands. Our call is for delegates from all the islands within the region to be a part of this conference, because we all, as much as we differ, we all have the same issues. Bring your issues, bring your solutions, bring your ideas, bring them, and let us talk about them. How can we make changes to impact the lives of our men, our families, our homes, our jobs, our economy as we roll out this program? And that is what this conference really is about. Now, you might be asking, how do I participate? How do I become a member of this event? How do I enjoy all the things that Anderson spoke about? You heard about our reception the first night. You heard about the conference itself, the first day of the conference, where we're talking about different issues that men really, really face. How do I get to be a part of this? Well, registration is via a link that is on our Facebook page, which is International Men's Day Regional Conference. So if you go to our Facebook page, International Men's Day Regional Conference, you will find the link there to register, right? Our other social media page on Instagram is Men Matter Caribbean. You can find us there as well. You will find information there that leads to the conference. You will find discussions, conversations that people are having around the region as it relates to International Men's Day, right? You will see people talking about their experiences. You will see people talking about encouraging men. You will just see messages that empower men on those pages. Additionally, we have a theme song because, as you know, our theme is Men Matter. Embrace, empower, elevate for positive transformation. And so we have a theme song that lends to that, which you will get a taste of before we wrap today. Now, with this theme song, we talk about the issues in the theme song and what we want to see who we are as men, right? And so we are challenging our audiences on our social media pages to participate. Let us hear your version, your rendition, your issues to this what we call the jingle, our theme song, using certain hashtags that will encourage traffic to our Facebook pages and allow you to engage with the content that is there that lends to the success of this program and that will change your mind as to where men stand in our society. So our hashtags are hashtag voice your choice, hashtag IMDRC473, and hashtag embrace, empower, elevate. These are the tools that we are using to engage our audiences to ensure that we have a better understanding of what the conference is for the build-up of the conference and also to increase the buy-in to this. Because I'm telling you, as long as you decide and agree to be a part of this conference, your life, your perspective will change. Could you imagine that every man on all the islands in the Caribbean, understanding their position in society, understanding their role in society, realizing that they have a voice? Can you imagine a man being empowered? Every single man that you know, just think about a man that you know, and think about a man that he knows, and think about a man that that man knows. All of you being empowered, all men being empowered on all the islands across the Caribbean region. We are going to be unstoppable. Who can stop us when we understand our position and when we walk in unity? So we're asking you to come on board with us, join with us. We've invited countries from across the Caribbean islands to be a part of this inaugural event. As Mr. Stewart said, we're going to move from island to island. Next year we'll be in another island. The year after that, another one, until we capture all the Caribbean islands. And you know, we have a different flavor in every island. So everywhere you go, you're going to experience some cultural difference, some cultural engagement that makes you see a man in a different light. And that is what we're here about. So I want to encourage you to buy in, to come on board. Let us work together to empower our men and to bring them to the place where we know they can be in our societies. I thank you.
And so I hope everybody would have got everything that Ms. Combi was saying, including our social media handles, so you too can also take part in the challenge once it launches. Now, the moment everybody has been waiting for, before we start the Q&A section, we'd like to reveal the jingle. So if there's any chance we could have that up on the screen, please.
Your Honor, them indict me for standing up against the harmful stereotypes that have been perpetrated against the men. I come here to represent myself and a few. We living in a century where we living on lies. Society said the hurdles and we have to comply. We gonna pay with dues, we don't get reviews. Therefore we get broken and we fall into the news. But it's all the brothers said we gonna take a stand. Representing hope, rebuilding the brand. We gonna take a brother hand in hand, empower, elevate every boy, every man. I just want to reveal my life slowly. Look close, you're gonna see a better man. I just want to reveal my life slowly. Look close, my friend. I have a right. I have a right. I have a right. I have a voice. I have a voice. I have a voice. I have a voice. Make it right. Make it right. Make it right. Make it right. You don't have to fight this. I have a right. I have a right. I have a voice. I have a voice. Make it right. Make it right. We don't have to fight this. My brother brother say we here for you. I understand the struggle cause I've been there too. No definition that could come by you. All the belly meant a pain that they put way through. But look up on the horizon, see mankind winning and rising, rejecting, coming and fighting. Oh Lord, this is so exciting. Learn me. I just want to reveal my life slowly.
Look close, you're gonna see a better man.
Learn me. I just want to reveal my life slowly.
Look close, my friend.
I have a right. I have a right. I have a right. I have a voice.
I have a voice.
I have a voice.
I have a voice.
Make it right.
Make it right.
Make it right.
Make it right.
You don't have to fight this. I have a right. I have a right. I have a voice. I have a voice. Make it right. Make it right. You don't have to fight this. We living in a century where we living on lies. Society set the hurdles and we have to comply. We gonna pay with dues, we don't get reviews. Not for we get broken and we fall into the news. But it's all the brothers say we gonna take a stand. Representing hope, rebuilding the brand. We gonna take a brother hand in hand. Empower, elevate every boy, every man. Learn me. I just want to reveal my life slowly.
Look close, you're gonna see a better man. Look close, my friend.
I have a right. I have a right. I have a right.
I have a right.
I have a voice.
I have a voice.
I have a voice.
I have a voice.
Make it right.
Make it right.
Make it right.
Make it right.
You don't have to fight this. I have a right.
Yeah.
I have a right.
Yeah.
I have a voice. I have a voice. Make it right. Make it right. We don't have to fight this.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I have a right, I have a voice. Those are the most empowering words that I have heard in a very long time, especially when it comes to men. So be sure to participate, listen to the words, resonate with the words, and then come up with some creative content to showcase your talent to these words. Now, I would like to open the floor for any question and answers from media and invited guests. So if you have a question, please do not hesitate to ask.
I don't know if it's a question, a comment or saying. I'm a bit still trying to settle myself, because I believe this information that I'm hearing now, it take maybe too long to come. Right? I believe that you're waiting for when the issues of men was going to be addressed. So I'm happy that I'm hearing that now, and it's welcome news. And it's happy that it's starting in Grenada. We are known for creating history, and here we are again. So I want to commend the people behind this move. I think it's an excellent move, and one that would surely address a number of our concerns that men and boys face. So welcome news to me as a man. We're seeing a number of our young men and the kind of struggle and the emphasis have been placed over the years on as you say, women, girls. And you wonder if the damage is beyond repair, and so much emphasis has been placed on women, and so the men folk was left to struggle. If you look at the justice system, a number of areas where men are basically left staggering in the back, and women take the lead. I look at, for instance, in our justice system where you have, in Grenada recently we had 3 judges, and every one of them are women. Right? The last, only I think it's still happening now. The 3 judges at the High Court is women. Another, this is of one area. So a number of areas that men are yet to me. We are just playing catch up. So I want to welcome this information here, and I'm looking forward to seeing great results from it. So I want to commend you guys again. Thank you.
So congratulations on the hosting of this event. I have two questions. Basically, how long was the planning for putting this event? I mean, it's a long time coming, and I'm really happy to see it happening. And also, you mentioned that you will be going onto the blocks and going out in the communities. Can you elaborate a little bit on how that will be executed, and how is it that you will be reaching the average man as a part of this whole activity?
Thank you for that question. Well, first and foremost, this conference is free and it's open. So people or male folks, we're encouraging them to register as quickly as possible. So you can contact the ministry. The number here at the ministry is 440-2269. You can contact the ministry as quickly as possible and ask for Mr. Anderson Richardson. That's the man in charge of the men's desk in the ministry. And you can also register online via the Facebook page. All right, so we accept online as well as in person or telephone registration. And it's totally free. And it's going to be a marvelous conference. We've considered quite a lot of aspects of the conference to make it exciting. In respect of how do we reach the people, first and foremost, there is a motorcade where we're going to be going around into the communities as we circle Grenada. That's one aspect of it, where we're going to be using the motorcade as a means of touching base. We are going to be going into the schools. We're going to be splitting up on that particular day. I think it is the 17th, is it? The 17th. We're going to be splitting up ourselves through the length and breadth of Grenada, including Carriacou, going into the schools, going into the prisons, going into the homes, and so on, and meeting with these guys. We are also going to be, even prior to the conference, engaging people on the block, encouraging them to get registered and come out to the conference. So we are really going to be doing some legwork and getting people involved. We're going to be approaching the churches also, asking them to send some participants to the conference so that we are able to attract men from every sphere of life through the society. And of course, our regional counterparts, they are going to be doing likewise to send people to the conference. Thanks. The target number is a minimum of 350 people. Okay?
How many persons you say you expect from the region? You say you're inviting people from the region. How many in total you are expecting for that conference?
You could use it. Yeah.
All right. So from the region, we looking for a minimum of 80 people. Minimum of 80 from the region.
And today, what kind of response are you getting from your 5 members and countries? What kind of response are you? I mean, you said that a number of them have expressed interest and so on, but what's other comments like?
So the region from day one has been involved in the planning exercise. This is just these two reps is just a snippet of the amount of people that has been part of this, right? So we have representations throughout the region in the planning of this conference. So we expect to fill at minimum 80 people from the region. And the interest has been good. As a matter of fact, you can feel the energy from these people who have been in. And this is only a sample of what is there.
One of the things that I I want to say is that we've invited ministers. The plan from Grenada is to invite ministers to also come with delegates. And I think the advantage of that is that when they return to their islands, they can now push the agenda that had been started here in Grenada, because it would have sort of leadership policy level impact behind of it. And so we are looking forward for that. And we want the ordinary people to also come. So we are hoping that countries would not only send a high-level delegate, but also send some of the other persons who would be able to go back, the grassroots people who go back now and be in the trenches to be able to carry the news.
And what we're also hoping is, even if a country doesn't send you and you happen to come across any of our social media pages or this information and you're from another island, it is open for you as well, right? You can register online, you can register on our Facebook page, you can call us for information. You don't have to wait for a government official to send you or a country to send you to be a part of it. It is open for all and sundry to come and be a part of the event. Our Facebook page again is International Men's Day Regional Conference. As soon as you log onto our Facebook page, you will see a button that says sign up, and you can click on that link and it will send you to the registration form as well.
Additional to that, we want to appeal to our persons within the media and our other persons of influence to really assist us in pushing this event. Let's push that event and have it happen and have the impact felt and seen even after the International Men's Day Conference. Thank you.
Anderson, could I also add on that we would want the region to send their media representative to be able to cover it, because they'll be able to take back the footage and be able to also be of great assistance in promoting the program.
And may I add that on the local front, one of the ways of getting the local men to come out. Yeah. One of the ways of getting the local men to be part of what we're planning is to engage with established groups like clubs, sports organization, and church groups, as we mentioned also. So we have men's league, we have sports clubs, we have community groups, and we will be engaging them directly to send representatives to the conference. So this is one show way of having local persons from the different areas.
Additionally, we are also inviting the corporate Caribbean. We want our corporate Caribbean contributors to also be a part of this. So if you're in business, if you are wanting to start a business, we want you to come and be a part. If you heard Anderson spoke about the business segment, we want not only for you to be a part of the conference that speaks about business, but if you have a business and you want to invest in something that will actually grow the income that comes into your region, this is the perfect opportunity to partner with us to ensure the establishment of this conference. You know, it will go a long way to see. Could you imagine a participant, a young man coming to this event, knowing or seeing a sign that says, oh, a giant in my community or a giant from my country has partnered to be a part of this event. This must be something important, because, you know, when younger people see important people, they also feel important to be associated with them. So we're inviting corporate Caribbean businesses from around the islands in the Caribbean to come on board and partner with us to establish this conference.
Thank you very much. Are there any more questions this afternoon? Okay, thank you. So I will now do the closing remarks. Now, as we draw this enlightening and inspiring event to a close, we'd like to offer our heartfelt thank you to all our distinguished speakers and, of course, to each of you for joining us today. Our program has been both informative and impactful, and we believe that it sets a strong foundation for the upcoming International Regional Men's Day Conference 2023, which takes place from November 16th to 19th, 2023. Now, Minister, the Honourable Philip Telesford, has provided an invaluable overview of this significant event. His vision, leadership, and dedication to community development and gender affairs are a testament to the government of Grenada, to the cause of positive change and well-being within our region. Minister Gloria Thomas would have given us some enlightening comments as well pertaining to the event and also shared her views. Mr. Michael Stewart has eloquently shared the rationale behind this event. His insights into the importance of promoting positive masculinity and fatherhood are a driving force behind our mission. Mr. Anderson Richardson has taken us through the exciting rollout of the event, including the engaging activities and the powerful jingle that will undoubtedly resonate with all our participants. And last but not least, Ms. Combi has provided essential information about the objectives, registration details, and our social media presence. Her expertise in communications and her passion for promoting well-being are pivotal to this event's success. As we move forward, let us remember that this event is just the beginning. The International Men's Day Regional Conference 2023 is a platform for positive transformation, embracing, empowering, and elevating our region. We encourage you to register, get involved, and participate in our upcoming activities, discussions, and challenges. Don't forget to stay connected with us on social media via our Instagram at Men Matter Caribbean, as well as our Facebook page, the International Men's Day Regional Conference. You can also get involved by using the designated hashtags, hashtag Embrace Empower Elevate, hashtag IMDRC473, and hashtag Voice Your Choice. We'd like to thank you for your support and enthusiasm. We look forward to seeing each and every one of you at the conference, where we will continue to collaborate, share, and work together to make a positive impact on the lives of men and the entire Caribbean community. Together, we can elevate, embrace, and empower. Thank you.
Your Honor, them indict me for standing up against the harmful stereotypes that have been perpetrated against the men. I come here to represent myself and a few. We living in a century where we living on lies. Society said the hurdles and we have to comply. We gonna pay with dues, we don't get reviews. Love how we get broken and we fall into the news. But it's all the brothers say we gonna take a stand. Representing hope, rebuilding the brand. We gonna take a brother hand in hand, empower, elevate every boy, every man. Learn me. I just want to reveal my life slowly.
Look close, you're gonna see a better man.
Learn me. I just want to reveal my life slowly.
Look close, my friend.
I have a right.
I have a right.
I have a right.
I have a right.
I have a voice.
I have a voice.
I have a voice.
I have a voice.
Make it right.
Make it right.
Make it right.
Make it right.
We don't have to fight this. I have a right. I have a right. I have a voice. I have a voice. Make it right. Make it right. We don't have to fight this. My brother said we here for you. I understand the struggle cause I've been there too. No definition that can come by you. All the belly men are pain that they put way through. But look upon the horizon. See mankind winning and rising. Rejecting, coming and fighting. Oh Lord, this is so exciting. Learn me. I just want to reveal my life slowly.
Look close, you're gonna see a better man.
Learn me. I just want to reveal my life slowly.
Look close, my friend.
I have a right.
I have a right.
I have a right.
I have a right.
I have a voice.
I have a voice.
I have a voice.
I have a voice.
Make it right.
Make it right.
Make it right.
Make it right.
We don't have to fight this. I have a right. I have a right. I have a voice. I have a voice. Make it right. Make it right. We don't have to fight this. We living in a century where we living on lies. Society said the hurdles and we have to comply. We gonna pay with dues, we don't get reviews. Love how we get broken and we fall into the news. But it's all the brothers say we gonna take a stand. Representing hope, rebuilding the brand. We gonna take a brother hand in hand, empower, elevate every boy, every man. Learn me. I just want to reveal my life slowly.
Look close, you're gonna see a better man.
Learn me. I just want
All them girl is mine. All them girl is mine. A sharper than a G-line. If I see a man I get blind. Only woman I want to find.